We'd like to think we're in control when playing video games. I mean, after all, we're the ones holding the controller, clicking the mouses, and making the choices. But what if I told you that gaming companies are manipulating you, and they've gotten disturbingly good at it? From the way games are designed to keep you playing just a few minutes longer, to how your wallet is slowly drained without you even realizing it. The modern gaming industry has evolved into a machine built on subtle psychological manipulation.
Put these items in enchanted chests.
And it's not just shady mobile games doing this. It's the AAA publishers like EA, Activision, and Ubisoft that are dipping their little slick, greedy little toes into this pool too. In this video, I'm going to be diving deep into the manipulative practices that have become standard in the gaming world. We're going to break down the psychological tricks, the monetization traps, and the systemic strategies behind them. And let's start with the big one, behavioral psychology. Modern game design borrows heavily from behavioral psychology, especially the concepts developed by B.F. Skinner in the 1950s. Skinner's studies with rats and pigeons led to the discovery of operant conditioning, a framework for how rewards and punishments influence behavior. In simple terms, if a player is rewarded for a behavior, they're more likely to repeat it. Game designers now use this to keep players hooked. Consider loot boxes, the randomness of the reward system coupled with flashy animations and sound effects that make you tingle inside. This creates what's known as a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, the same method used in slot machines. The reward might come on the first try or the 50th, but you keep playing because the next spin might be the one. Games like FIFA, Apex Legends, and Overwatch have all used this model, and I've talked about it in other videos like this one here. The psychological high of unlocking a rare item so powerful, some countries have gone as far as to label loot boxes a form of gambling. And they are. Yet these mechanics are still widely used because they generate billions. Even progression systems are built to exploit you. In Call of Duty, for instance, you get constant unlocks, new skins, guns, and attachments. Even if you're not having fun, you're told that you're making progress. You just need to keep playing. It taps into our desire for achievement, and it makes quitting harder. Mobile games do this too, and they're the worst for it. Ever played Clash of Clans or Candy Crush? The game is constantly rewarding you with sounds and animations and progress bars, and when those slow down, they offer a shortcut for a price. And this brings us to monetization. Now, free-to-play isn't really free. That model's become a Trojan horse for some of the most aggressive monetization schemes in entertainment. Let's talk about your little cousin's favorite game, Fortnite. On the surface, it's a lighthearted battle royale game with dancing emotes and colorful cosmetics, and every celebrity tie-in you can possibly think of. But dig deeper and you'll find a sophisticated monetization strategy designed to maximize spending. The in-game shop rotates daily, triggering a fear of missing out. Renegade Raider is only available for so long.
Do you have Renegade Raider?
Limited time bundles pressure players into buying quickly. Add in battle passes, tier unlocks, and exclusive skins, and you've got a system that constantly nudges players to spend, and if you don't spend in time, it rug pulls you. And because purchases are made using this pretty little name called V-Bucks, a virtual currency, players lose a sense of real-world value. But Epic isn't alone. Look at NBA 2K. It's a full-price game, yet almost every mode is tied to microtransactions. Want to build your My Player? Better be ready to buy VC. Otherwise, you'll spend dozens of hours grinding against opponents who paid to skip the wait. Monetization in gaming has shifted from an occasional purchase to a systemic design philosophy. Games are now built with monetization in mind from day one. It's not just about making a great game, it's about building an economic ecosystem within that game that extracts as much as possible from every player. This strategy isn't just annoying, it's manipulative, because it's based on psychological triggers like FOMO, peer pressure, and even sunk cost fallacy. And this brings me to the next topic: social pressure. Manipulation isn't just about flashy loot boxes or pay-to-win mechanics. It's also about subtle emotional tactics that prey on our fear of missing out. Take Destiny 2. Bungie mastered the seasonal content model, where new weapons, armor sets, and story missions are available only during a limited window. If you don't log in and grind that content during the season, you miss it forever. It creates urgency, not because the content is better, but because it's going away. The same also applies to live service games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, Warzone, and even MMORPGs like Final Fantasy XIV. These games use timed events and seasonal drops to pull players back in, even if they're tired or burned out. They make players feel like they're missing out on something important, whether it's exclusive gear or social experiences. Look, all your friends are doing it and they all have a Renegade Raider, you should join in. And don't forget pressure from society as a whole. Games like Among Us, Fall Guys, or Valorant became cultural moments. If your friends are playing, you feel like you have to join. If you don't, you're left out. This peer dynamic is often used to drive engagement during launch windows or new content drops, and artificial scarcity makes things worse. Many cosmetic items are only available for a short time or in limited quantities. This false scarcity drives players to make impulsive purchases, not because they really want the item, but because they don't want to regret not having Renegade Raider later. It's basic psychology, and the industry is exploiting it. Manipulation isn't limited to monetization. The actual design of many games has evolved to keep players addicted. Consider World of Warcraft. The game pioneered the concept of daily quests and weekly resets. You don't log in because you want to. You log in because you feel like you have to. Otherwise, you fall behind. Games like Genshin Impact take it further. Pretty and lovely looking on the surface, when really, it's daily resin caps and rotating content. They build a schedule for you. Log in at this time, complete this many quests, wait for this resource to refill. It creates a loop that becomes routine. And these loops are deliberate. They create habits, and once a game becomes part of your daily life, it's hard to step away, even if you're not enjoying it anymore. When Animal Crossing New Horizons came out at the peak of COVID, this affected me personally. That game had me locked in my room for 4 to 6 hours every day, and I mean, I guess it helped because we all had to stay inside anyway, but that daily habit of checking the shop and hitting the rocks for bells, it became my structure. And then there's grind design. Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla were criticized for bloated content and XP requirements. Why? Because Ubisoft offered XP boosters for real money. The grind wasn't a design flaw, it was a monetization strategy. And with games being so big nowadays, they love to present this illusion to you. The illusion of choice. Modern games often give players a false sense of freedom, but behind the curtain, your choices are often carefully engineered to guide you towards certain outcomes. Let's talk about battle passes. They seem like a good deal. Spend $10 and unlock tons of content as you level up. But here's the catch. The content is locked behind dozens of hours of playtime. Miss a week and you fall behind. So like before, now you're logging in not because you want to, but because you feel obligated. Games like Diablo Immortal and Call of Duty Mobile often include multiple battle passes at once. Players feel overwhelmed and pressured to commit more time and money just to keep up. And even choice in character builds or loadouts is sometimes illusory. Meta builds dominate. Sure, you have options, but only a few are viable if you want to win. So you spend hours unlocking weapons and upgrades, only to realize your choices were limited from the start. Listen, when I'm playing League of Legends, don't bother me. I'm jungling as Jinx. No, she is not an AD carry. Someone else pick Ashe. We can have 2 AD carries. I am the junk. Now, these manipulative practices don't just stem from gameplay. It goes even deeper. It goes into the things you view on screen, the buttons you press to navigate the game and get where you want to go. These are called dark patterns and UI manipulation. Dark patterns are UI tricks designed to manipulate behavior. They're used everywhere from mobile games to console interfaces. Ever tried to cancel a recurring subscription on PlayStation or Xbox? It's buried deep in the menu. But starting a new subscription? That's front and center. Click of a button and boom, you're right in. Paying monthly, you sucker. Mobile games are notorious for this. Buttons are designed so players accidentally spend premium currency. Confirmation prompts are deliberately small or placed near the buy button. Games like Clash Royale or your favorite big YouTuber sponsor Raid Shadow Legends use full-screen pop-ups after every match to offer a deal. These are timed and brightly colored to push impulsive behavior. And just when you thought these manipulative decisions couldn't get any deeper and hidden from your eyes, I regret to inform you that there is a final piece to this puzzle that you don't even know about. And it happens when you're scrolling through that big privacy policy list that you're definitely not reading. Let me introduce to you data harvesting and player tracking. Here's a disturbing truth. Game companies are tracking everything you do. Your playtime, your purchases, your preferred characters, your win-loss ratio. Heck, if the game is asking permission to see your webcam, it probably wants to see where your eyes are going. All of this is data. This data isn't just used for balancing or development, it's used for targeted monetization. Ever notice how a store sale happens right after you stop playing for a few days? Or how a bundle appears featuring your favorite character? That's algorithmic manipulation. The system knows exactly what you like, what you buy, and when you're most likely to spend. EA's patented dynamic difficulty adjustment system literally adjusts game difficulty in real time to keep players engaged, or to frustrate them just enough to buy upgrades. Overall, some people argue that these systems are just the result of evolving game design. But when you look at the patterns, it's clear this isn't accidental, it's strategy. In 2021, internal documents from Activision showed plans to use matchmaking to encourage microtransactions. Players who bought gear would be matched against weaker players, giving them a sense of power. The goal? Encourage them to buy more. EA's filed dozens of patents around monetization strategies and behavioral nudging. Ubisoft has focused entire development pipelines around live service systems designed to maximize engagement, not satisfaction. These aren't bad actors slipping through the cracks. These are billion-dollar corporations deliberately shaping behavior for profit. The real tragedy from all of this is what this does to players and to gaming as a whole. Games are no longer built to be fun. They're built to be sticky. Engagement is measured in hours, not enjoyment, and players are increasingly burnt out, overwhelmed, and exploited. Developers too are caught in the trap, forced to design around monetization metrics instead of creativity. Live service models require constant updates, leading to crunch and burnout in studios, and we see that a ton these days. And creativity suffers. Innovative games get sidelined. Risky ideas don't get greenlit. The industry narrows in on what can be monetized, not what can inspire. So what can we as players actually do? Start by being aware. Recognize manipulation when you see it. Don't fall for FOMO tactics or pay-to-skip mechanics. A good example of this is the backlash to Battlefront 2's loot boxes caused real change and made it better for everybody. When players speak out, publishers take notice. And most importantly, check out my other video on indie games. Please support indie developers and studios that put gameplay first. Games like Hades, Celeste, and Hollow Knight prove that passion-driven design still exists. Gaming should be about joy, challenge, and expression, things we all experienced and saw a lot more back in the day, not manipulation. If you found this video eye-opening, consider subscribing and like the video, hit that taco bell, because in future videos, I'm going to keep digging into the hidden mechanics behind the games we love and the corporations that shape them. Thank you for all your support and all your comments. I really am reading every single one of them, and I reply as much as I can. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.